Hey, how's it going, everyone? Bass here. Happy Monday to everyone watching. So day 19 of Packers training camp is officially over. Today was a full padded practice ahead of the Thursday night game against the Kansas City Chiefs, the last preseason game the Packers do have. So I have some highlights from the beginning portion of today's practice to react to and break down for you guys. And as always, I'll have videos like this for every Packers practice, highlights, as well as recap videos. So make sure if you are new here and that does interest you, please consider going down, clicking the subscribe button, as well as turning on post notifications. Also, I do source all of these clips off of Twitter, so all the respective owners will be down in the description below. So without further ado, let's bring up the screen, and in this first clip, we have both David Bakhtiari and Robert Tonyan doing a blocking drill together. Both of these guys still are not in team drills yet. They're only still in individual drills. David Bakhtiari practicing for the second consecutive day, which is a really good sign. No setbacks from yesterday's practice. Robert Tonyan looking really good as well. So David Bakhtiari, it's good to see this. Obviously, we've gone through this multiple times before where he returns to practice. We get our hopes up, and then he ends up not playing, or he plays in that Week 18 Detroit game, and his knee flares up again. So I'm really hoping that he has no setbacks this time, and we finally get to see a full, healthy David Bakhtiari come Week 1, because he would be such a big boost to this offensive line, of course, if he is his old self, if David Bakhtiari is the old David Bakhtiari we're used to seeing and remembering on that offensive line, that all-pro left tackle, one of the best left tackles in the NFL. So I'm really hoping this all goes well for him and Robert Tonyan, all the guys that have these injuries, Elton Jenkins, Robert Tonyan, Kylan Hill, David Bakhtiari. Hopefully everything all goes well, and he's ready to go Week 1. And speaking of Robert Tonyan, here's him running a quick route, and he looks 100% to me. I'm surprised he's not in team drills yet. Probably just waiting a couple more days, taking it day by day, easing him into things, which is the smart thing to do. You don't want that to flare up again. You don't want him to hurt himself when it's just practice. Keep him, easing into things going into Week 1. I think he will be ready Week 1. I don't see anything here or in practice that I've seen so far, any reports or anything of that sort that say, hey, Robert Tonyan, I don't know if he's going to be ready for Week 1. In my eyes, I do believe he will be ready for Week 1. So he looks really good here. Looks very fast, nimble, quick on his feet, great acceleration. Looks like that knee has no hindrance on him at all. In other injury news, Tariq Carpenter has returned today. He's been out with that knee injury, hasn't played a single preseason game. Here's a clip of him covering Jaire Alexander. Jaire Alexander, a nice little route here with this out route. Reserve wide receiver, I guess he could be, but Tariq Carpenter with the catch there. Excited to see him in the final preseason game if he is ready to go. The Packers have been dealing with a lot of injuries at safety. Vernon Scott injured his shoulder last game against the Saints, but Ennis Gaines also returned today. He had that hamstring injury, of course. The Packers did sign Micah Abernathy 12 days ago, and he has looked really good. Micah Abernathy, that undrafted rookie in 2019, most recently with the Houston Gamblers in the USFL, and I thought he had a really nice game against the Saints. Recorded 3 tackles and, of course, that 1 interception. I've really liked what I've saw from Abernathy so far, and he definitely has a chance to make this roster. I think any one of these safeties outside of Adrian Amos and Darnell Savage has a chance to be, the 3rd or 4th safety. Donald Levitt is out with what seems like a long-term injury. Vernon Scott might have a long-term injury with that shoulder as well. So it's down to Ennis Gaines, Mike Abernathy, Devontae Cross, Tariq Carpenter, some of those guys to potentially, and of course Sean Davis, to potentially, secure this 3rd and 4th safety spot. And here we have a clip of Rasul Douglas doing a drill and then catching a ball here that's thrown behind him, showing his soft hands. I mean, Rasul Douglas's middle name, I think, is interception, or it could be pick 6, either or. Honestly, they both suit him. Very interested to see how Rasul Douglas does in the slot position this year. I've said it many times. I feel like he does have the ability to play slot well. He has the physicality, the size. I think he does have the speed, the ability to break down on short routes. I think he will struggle if there's a very speedy slot wide receiver, but other than that, I'm very hyped for him to be in the slot. It gives us the chance to have all 3 of our best cornerbacks on the field at one time in nickel, and that's with Rasul in the slot, Jaire and Stokes on the outsides. And here's a clip of linebacker Isaiah McDuffie in a linebacker drill catching a ball here, and he's another player that has impressed me a ton this preseason. He's looked really good. It really looks like he's taking that second-year jump, which would be huge, because the Packers' depth at linebacker right now is crazy. And Isaiah McDuffie was kind of drafted last year as, just a core special teams player out of Boston College. But what he's shown in preseason so far in training camp, he can make an impact on defense. So we'll see exactly what he's used for this year, more as a rotational guy, a sub-package type of guy, and then, of course, still on special teams. But he's looked a lot better this year, a lot faster, better reaction time, better tackling. Really like what I've seen so far from Isaiah McDuffie. And speaking of the inside linebackers, here's all of them doing a quick drill. Devondre Campbell there. And as I was saying in the last clip, they have so much depth and talent at this inside linebacker position. When's the last time us as Packers fans were able to say that? I feel like linebacker, inside linebacker at least, has always been a weakness for the past, over a decade. The last real talent we've had, I mean, AJ Hawk, Blake Martinez, but Blake Martinez was just kind of a tackle machine, didn't really wow you in any other way. Devondre Campbell was just ranked the 49th best player in the entire NFL, ranked by the players, which is extremely impressive. Was an all-pro linebacker the first year here in Green Bay. Them drafting Quay Walker in the first round, super excited for him. As I stated in the last clip, Isaiah McDuffie looks like he's taking a second-year jump, and Chris Barnes has been extremely impressive in preseason as well. And Chris Barnes, an undrafted free agent out of UCLA, has been impressive the 2 years so far here in Green Bay. So I think the Packers have a ton of depth at this inside linebacker position, and that's great because Joe Barry is an inside linebacker coach, and obviously that likely goes hand in hand. Joe Barry coaching these guys up and making them better and better each day. I'm so excited about this inside linebacker group, and of course Ray Wilburn too. He's been good past couple of years as well. And here's a quick clip of Preston Smith hitting the sled and then also catching a pass, showing his ability and his hands there to get up there and catch that ball. This edge room, I mean, there's not much depth, but the first two guys in Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary, I think they're going to have a big year, especially Rashawn Gary. I think in general this front seven is just so much better, and that's including the defensive line, that they're going to get a ton of pressure on the opposing quarterback, and I think they are going to dominate in the trenches this year. Now, I am interested to see how this depth is going to play out at outside linebacker. Kingsley Enagbare has had a great couple weeks of practice. He's shown his dominance and has been really good. He's a roster lock, obviously, but he could definitely be one of the depth guys. Tipa Nali has looked good, Ladarius Hamilton, John Garvin. They cut Chauncey Manick yesterday. Kobe Jones has looked decent in a couple preseason games. So it's going to be interesting to see who they choose for the 53-man roster, if that's going to be 4 guys or 5 guys. It's obviously going to be Gary, Smith, and Enagbare. And then who's the 4th and 5th guy going to be? John Garvin, Tipanali, Ladarius Hamilton. It's going to be hard to choose 1 or 2 guys from those 3 guys there. And in the last clip, it's just a quick clip of Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon doing quick running back drills. And Matt LaFleur said today he considers Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon 1A and 1B. And I 100% agree. He said they're both premier backs in this league and could start on pretty much any NFL team, and I also agree with that. Aaron Rodgers also stated a couple days ago, he sees both of these guys getting 50-plus receptions, which would be absolutely insane, but in my opinion, it's not that far-fetched, especially for Aaron Jones, but A.J. Dillon, we saw what he could do in the receiving game last year, and that's not an over-exaggeration for me either. I think these guys will be used equally in this offense and effectively in this offense. Super excited this year for Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon. Thunder and lightning. But those are all the clips I have for day 19 of Packers training camp practice. So if you did enjoy this video, please leave a like down below. It supports my channel a ton. But I'll catch you all in the next one. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Pack Go.